Here we are, Saturday night, and another game of the X-Files CCG, and we're still in the middle of Season 4 playtesting. This is Episode 9. A lot of playtesting going on, just a few more left. So I don't know about Guillaume, but I've got a pretty thick stack of cards here. Not all Season 4, but quite a few. I'm trying to get some of those ones we haven't played out there on the table. We'll see how it goes. Guillaume, are you ready to go?
Yep, I am.
Come on.
So tonight I'm
once more with feeling. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
I'm sorry. That will teach me to sleep with the window open, but my throat is like my throat is hurting and my voice is not the same as it usually is. So, all right. So yes, I'm ready to go tonight. I'll be playing with the new team, agents that I have previously used, but not in that, in the same team. So it's an all-female team tonight. So it's kind of a Let's Go Girls team. That's the subtitle of the team. It's led by Agent Dana Scully. And then you have Nancy Spiller, you have Karen Kosef, you have Agent Henderson, and you have Agent Hedin from Season 4. So only one Season 4 agent, but she's the only female agent.
All female.
Yeah. So all female.
It's very rare to see that, David? But we talked about that. Yeah, very nice.
At the girl power deck. Girl power.
Yeah. Nicely done. I applaud it.
We'll see if they can do that. We'll see if they can actually, manage to make me win.
Ladies, show the boys how it's done. All right, David, and I think you have an all gents team, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I do have one. You do? Agent Henderson is on my team.
Right. Yep.
I borrowed a team from a previous deck, and it's probably not as fine-tuned as I would like. I did kind of focus more on just getting the skills that I wanted more so than the abilities. But I do have some things that are going to help me out along the way, so I'm feeling okay about it. We'll see how it plays out. But I've got Agent Henderson, Agent Danny Pendrell, my guy, Lieutenant Brian Tillman, and, of course, Agent Fox Mulder.
I do want to, before you guys kick me into the backstage, I do want to mention something for one of the upcoming play tests, which we're planning to do at least one more, possibly two. I'm hoping we do two and wrap up at the end of this month. Now, for those few of you who've actually been following all the play tests on David's channel, you may have noticed that I have never taken part in any of the playtest games. I've only been an active observer, judging, weighing in on, mechanical questions and whatnot. So if anyone who's been wondering, is Steve ever going to play a playtest his own Season 4 expansion? The answer is yes. I do intend to take part in the final playtest, which we don't know because, like I said, we're planning to do at least one more, but probably two. But whatever we decide is going to be the final playtest, I will be taking part in it. I will be one of the players. Haven't decided who my opponent's going to be. It might just be whoever won the previous game, or maybe we'll tally up who's won the most playtests. We could do that. Haven't really thought about it yet, but I'm going to do my best to get my hands on as many of the printed cards. Thanks to Guillaume, who sent me images, so I'll have actual printed images of them, so it'll look nice when I'm actually playing. But I do plan to also use the cards that have up to this point been printed by Dax and are error-free as of this point, unless we spot any issues in the upcoming playtests. So I'll be planning on using those. But yes, I will take part in the very last one. So it'll be exciting. From up to this point, it's just been months and months of watching you gentlemen play, which is, it's been great. It's been very exciting, but got to take it to the next level. I got to get in on this action, and I will.
I tell you that you should get a shot.
Indeed.
Your spot has been as an esteemed guest and author of the cards, so it was important to keep you available to explain the mechanics and be ready to help us out and make edits as we go along. So yeah, you've had to sit it out. I know you've been chomping at the bit. This expansion is your baby. You know, you've been watching it play out, and I think you've been pretty happy with the results.
Very much so.
Yeah,
very much so. Surprisingly, it has held up better than I had expected. Much as I poured over these cards in the writing and planning process, you expect that a lot of issues are going to rise in playtesting, and I expected that. I really did. I expected we were going to have quite a few issues that would need to be resolved, and there's only been a handful in Quarantine Zone to be the most notable of examples. But beyond that, the rest of them have been fairly minor or fairly easy to resolve with the changing of a word or two, for the most part, for the ones that actually did raise questions. But for the most part, the majority of the cards have not proved to be complicated during gameplay. So, for that, it has been quite a surprising experience to see that, wow. So that, will certainly inform how we, go about when we're doing season 5 and beyond.
It's very well authored, very well thought out. It's been a very smooth playtesting. I've been in some playtestings where we're stopping at every other card, and it's been rough, but going back to the drawing board. But no, everything has worked out really well. There hasn't really been anything problematic.
That's good to know. I've never taken part in any sort of playtests before, or I've never seen playtesting done. And so I had no idea what the level of difficulty that arises. And I can see that it's probably more so when you're playtesting a brand new game, whereas this is an expansion on an existing one. So it's it feels a bit apples and oranges a bit, because it's just, it's taking something that's already there and just maybe stretching the mechanics a little bit. So I can see why if we're, ask me to design a brand new game, I won't be able to do it in a few weeks like I did with this expansion. It's going to be it'll be a whole nother level of planning, and something that I'm not sure I'd want to tackle alone, not without my trusty teammates here, to weigh in and inform on what would be a because there's nothing anything I'm saying right now, it's don't take to heart. It's I've always thought about, how cool would it be to have a game along the same lines as this that is inspired on Chris Carter's sister show Millennium. How awesome that would be. It was kind of at times when I'm just thinking oh, we could either just, same mechanics, or just have it be a separate expansion, because it is all within the same universe, so it would pretty much work. But then again, at the same time, it's well, what about a whole new game, but something that is very much like a twin sister to this one. So it's stuff that I've thought about, but never really thought long and hard about what the objective would be, and what the the mechanics and specific. Nothing's concrete, but it's something I've thought about, and maybe once we get to a later point in time but right now we're focusing on expansions for the seasons that did not get graced with an expansion before the game was canceled. So that's where our focus is now. But long-term stuff where we might explore some other aspects of Chris Carter's 1013 universe. But that's one idea I just figured I would throw out there as something I've only been thinking about casually up to this point.
That's a whole nother YouTube channel, a whole nother Discord.
I would probably incorporate it into my own, although there's not much in the way of aliens and when it comes to Millennium. But yeah, it would probably, I would say it would just be as a broadening of the Alien Investigations channel. But again, that is just early. That's just, it's cloud talk. at this point. It's just, big ideas, but nothing concrete as of yet. And really, I prefer, and I think most of you guys agree, to have our focuses relatively narrowed so that we can put out a quality expansion. If we focus on one at a time, more or less, and just have our minds just zeroed in on just one season at a time, I think then we'll see smooth playtesting for the future expansions as well.
Yeah, especially since we are already kind of working on different expansions at the same time. You're working on season 5 with Nathan. We're reviewing season 7, which is the first draft is done, and season 6 I'm just starting to write some of them. And David, you have the Field of His Crime Lab expansion. So yeah, even just focusing on this one show, there are all these different expansions being written at the same time. I think as they should, because you kind of you can use what has already been written for future expansion to kind of make something that's coherent. And so and that's interesting, but it does take a lot of time to review kind of everything that everybody does. So it's what's interesting about that.
There is some merit to the fact that you are working on season 7 right now, and I'm just getting started with season 5, because we can plan things like we have planned things like certain keywords or certain recurring mechanics to come up across the expansions for sake of consistency and making cohesive expansions that can be working in tandem with one another, that will complement each other, so you can have a deck that's built on cards derived from across the spectrum of the seasons that we've up to that point that we've managed to create. And there's a certain excitement in that prospect of like having a deck constructed that includes cards from seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. That's something that will certainly change much of how we're playing the game, based on just the variety and the diversity of the cards, and the original ideas we've put into a lot of them. So that will certainly enhance the gameplay and make it a lot more exciting, and just kind of revive it. So it's like, we've seen a lot of the same cards, of the commercially released cards. We've come across them in our just the regular games that we play. And so it'll be nice when we can throw in some ones that we're less familiar with, and that add a new level of intrigue to the game.
Can you imagine how difficult it will be to build a deck at that time? Because for tonight I wanted to have 70 cards max, and I ended up having 100, because there are so many good season 4 cards that you just at some point you just can't not include them, even though you do get the chance of them not coming up during the game. But I say if I had even just one more expansion to work with, I don't know how I would be able to keep it under 100.
Your head would explode.
The last couple of weeks, I've tried pretty hard to keep my deck small to make sure I get through as many cards as I could, and it's proving to be difficult to trim it down. I mean, my deck now is well over 100 cards.
That's not great. That's great, because this is playtesting. So and we want to see a variety of the cards come up. But when we're getting to like regular gameplay, and then that's going to be interesting to see when you guys are just playing a regular game with me, whether it be on with David on David's channel or on mine, where it's not a playtest, it's just a friendly game, and you guys are at that point deciding which cards from season 4 that you want to be part of your regular gameplay decks. And that is going to be an extra level of elation for me to see, like, okay, these are the cards that you guys think are the gems in your mind, that you feel like these are the ones that I feel like will give me a strong strategic advantage in the course of the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing once we wrap up these play tests, which we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more freedom to fine tune our strategy and pick and choose the exact cards we want to get to get the effects that we want. Playtesting, it's a long process, but once we're through it, we'll know we have great cards, and next thing you know, we've got 60 card decks that are just trashing people. So we'll see what happens.
And with that, I think we're 15 minutes in, and Nathan hasn't joined us yet, but I think we can go ahead and get started. If there's anyone who's watching the video live or planning to watch it in the recording later on, we're 15 minutes in. It's like, okay, when are you guys going to get to the gameplay? Let's get into the gameplay so we can actually see some action, and then of course I'll jump in and weigh in if you guys need me.
Okay, Steven says good. Enough talk. Let's let the cards do the talking.
Some action. By chance, real quick, let me ask quick question. Do either of you guys have any combat cards in these decks?
You'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but I think right. You know the answer to that.
And you got to tell me at the end of the game whether or not you did include any, because I don't know, Guillaume, I kind of had a sense that because you've been playing with so many combat cards lately, you might feel inclined to include them. Granted, because there's no combat cards in Season 4. That was an area I did not explore in retrospect. Maybe I should have done that, but you know what? We're going to do that for later expansions for sure. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Fair enough.
Without further ado, kick me out, and you guys have a good game. Good luck.
Thank you. Right. So, David, the sound did cut when you announced your team. So who is your fourth agent? So I have Anderson, Pendrell, Tillman, and who's the fourth one?
Anderson, Tillman, Pendrell, and Fox Mulder.
Okay, all right.
As per the usual, I have a token here with X for heads, and then the dime side for tails. I'm going to flip it in the air. Guillaume, you call it.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Tails.
Oh, it's off camera, but I'm going to drag it over here. It's heads. But I'm always curious of my opponent's opening moves, so I'm going to have you go first.
All right. I'm going to draw my 7 cards. All right, so I'm going to draw my free card. Okay, I'm going to generate my res, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 6, puts me up at 11, and okay, I am not going to buy any more cards, or maybe just one. I'm going to buy just 1 card. Okay, just this happens every week. You've seen how much time I've spent shuffling, and I have like 5 of the same type of cards in my hand. So it's insane. So okay, now I'm passing it to you to sell and buy.
Okay. I do need to sell. I'm going to sell chemotherapy for 2.
All right. Oh, that's a risky move.
Yeah. and I will not buy any. So back to you, sir.
All right. So for healing, there is no one needing healing yet. For requisition, I'm not going to requisition anything. Deployment, I'm going to send everyone to the field. And okay. I'm going to play road trip for 1. It says play on the team in the field during the deployment phase. If the team makes a criminal investigation 6+ skill check, they may investigate 2 sites this turn. Resolve each site individually. So they do have 6 criminal investigation, just 6. So they barely passed the skill check. So I'm putting this one there. And for case assignment, we are going to go investigate right. We are going to go investigate Greenwood Memorial Hospital in Chicago, and we are going to go investigate Mount Avalon in Washington. Yeah. No, sorry. We are going to go to Minneapolis. So both sides cost 1. So I'll be paying 2. And so the first one is medical or occult investigation, and it's an affiliation or method question. And the second one is medical or criminal investigation, and it's method or result.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you introduced your team earlier, but could you refresh my memory there?
Yeah, sure. So I have Scully, I have Spiller, Karen Kosef, Henderson, and Agent Hayden from season 4.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to play. Shoot. Play 1 bluff.
On which side?
and
So, so you have the one with medical or occult, affiliation and method, or one with medical and criminal investigation and method and result.
the site that's got the affiliation question, please.
All right, that's the first one. And before I send the team to the site, I'm going to play. Sorry, I'm going to play a witness. I'm going to play Sheriff and Detailer for 4. Puts me down to 3. So attach this witness to a team. Sheriff Taylor will add his skill to the appropriate skill check like an agent. So he brings 1 in criminal investigation, 1 in close range combat, and 2 in long range combat. And he has a health of 3. So if his health is reduced to 0, or at any time there are no agents in the team, Taylor is removed from the game. So it's basically kind of like a backup for the team, especially in case of there is an adversary coming. So I'm going to send the agents to. I'm going to be using one of Scully's token to look at your bluff, please.
It is Gulag Bird. Place this card beneath an agent to move them to a section of the table designated the Gulag. Place 3 tokens on the agent, 2 if played on Alex Krychek. Remove 1 token during each of your opponent's debriefing phases. While in play, the agent may not contribute to any skill checks. All equipment attached to the imprisoned agent is immediately discarded. Discard this card when the last token is removed and move the agent to the bureau. Now that normally costs 6. I played it. Are we?
No, I'm
You're
just
kidding?
Scully.
You're just using
This token
Scully's.
just allows. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, it just allows me to see the bluff, and you can place it back under the site. And so the team is going to go investigate Minneapolis first. So it's a medical 5+ or criminal investigation 5+. I'll be using medical, and it's a method of result question. So I currently have 8 medical.
Well, going to go on season 4 theme here. I'm going to play an event card, Mortality Imminent. Place this card on an opposing agent inflicted with the keyword cancer. Oh, I'm sorry. Shoot. No one's been afflicted yet. So I'm just going to put that right back here. We're going to pretend like that never happened. And in that case, I don't have anything to stop you from investigating that site.
All right. So it's method of results. Let me just see if there is one question which can eliminate more possibilities than another. I think after so many games, I should know by now which of the possibilities help me more at the beginning of the game, but somehow I always need to count the different possibilities. All right, so is your result death?
It is not.
All right. And so that's one is discarded. And knowing what's waiting for me in Greenwood Memorial Hospital, I will not be investigating that site this turn. So the card remains in play with the bluff underneath, and maybe at some point I'll feel more comfortable going there and risk being sent to the gulag. But yeah, for now, I think I'll hold on, investigating,
All right.
hold off. So. All right, I got them all. So we can move to the briefing phase. I have 5 cards in my hand. How many do you have?
I have 5, so no discard.
All right. So, well, passing it to you.
All right. We'll draw for turn. And generate res. So I get 1, 2, 3. So 8. I am going to I'm just going to take Mulder's 2 res for 2 cards, and that's all. I'm not going to buy any more. So I'll turn to you to sell and buy.
All right. So I'm going to buy to sell 2 cards. I'm going to sell the SWAT tactical gear for 6 and the oil refinery for 2. So that's 8, puts me up at 13. And I am going to buy 5 cards. I'm going to buy 5 cards. It's always difficult because, you know, when you're deciding between like 5 and 6, and you always end up regretting the 1 card that you did not buy and which could have helped you during that turn. But you still do need to keep some resource to be able to actually pay for the cards that you need. So, okay.
Before you go any further, Stephen has a question here.
No, I don't have a question. Just a heads up, Nathan's on his way in.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
That was it. That was all.
So I'm going to buy 5 cards and hope I will have a better luck than my previous turn. All right. Back to you, David.
All right. No need for healing or requisition this turn, so I'll go right to deployment, and I'm going to deploy all 4 to the field here. And moving on to case assignment, play my site card. I'm going to play the abandoned bus terminal, and I'm going to use one of Fox's tokens to pay for that.
So if I remember correctly, that's criminal investigation.
A very good memory. It is prerequisite is criminal investigation 4 or more, and you may ask an affiliation question. Any bluffs, good sir?
No bluffs.
No bluffs. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go all in. All 4 agents to the site. That is, Mulder has 2, Pendrell has 2, Tillman has 2, and Henderson has 1. 2, 4, 6, 7 for a prerequisite of 4.
Well, you're free to ask your question because I don't have anything to stop you there. So ask away.
I'm just going to start at the top here with my affiliation question. Is your affiliation alien?
Okay, that's the no, it's not.
All right, done there. Move these guys back. And just move right to the debriefing. Let's see, 2. I have exactly 7, so no discard.
All right. I have 8, so I do need to discard something. Okay. I'm going to discard I'm going to discard the oil refinery in Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
And I now have 7 cards.
Very good. Then I will turn it back to you.
All right, so drawing my free card. I'm going to generate my res, which is 6. Put me up to 9. And I'm going to buy one card or 2 cards. No, just one. And back to you.
All right. Oh, I know I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to sell Search Warrant for 2. I will not buy any, so I'll turn back to you.
All right. No healing yet, no requisition. For case assignment, we are going to deployment, everyone stays in the field. And for case assignment, we are going to go investigate Mount Avalon in Washington. It has a prerequisite of sciences 4+, and it's a method question. It costs 2. I'm going to be using Nancy's Spirus token to pay for 1, and I'm paying the other one for my resource pool. So sciences 4+ and method question.
And so, what is your team's sciences?
So my team sciences is, let me check.
Well, you haven't deployed yet, so let's wait until you
Okay, yeah.
do case assignment. I'm sorry, what was it again? Criminal investigation?
Sciences and method.
Well, science, yeah. Science. Ooh. I have 1 bluff.
Okay, let's, well, you know, I'm just gonna go investigate anyway. I'm sending the team to the site. Let's see the bluff first. I'm using Scully's second token to see the bluff.
It is no trespassing. Play this card to prevent all agents with the keyword FBI from contributing their skills to this site.
Well, that will do it because they're all FBI agents.
They're all FBI.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Except for Andy Taylor.
Except for Andy Taylor, but he's not any help during the site. Well, you know what? I'm still going to go investigate the site. I'm sending everyone to the site. That way, you'll still have to pay for the bluff if you actually want to use it.
I will pay for the bluff. Yeah, it's a cost of 3. It was played upside down, so it'll cost me 2.
All right. So that site is discarded, and that's it for me this turn. So we can move to the debriefing phase.
I only have 5, so no discard.
And I have 8. And so there is some discarding that I need to do. I'm going to discard all J's and Nichols. Sorry, I would have liked to see him being used, but that's the one card I think is less likely to be played. So, all right, I now have 7 cards, and we can pass it back to you.
Before we go any further, Nathan did join, but it looks like his camera isn't working. So I'm going to bring my guys in here, make sure we have audio and video. There he is. We see you, but you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm just lounging.
Just cold chilling. All right.
You bet.
We'll send you guys both to the back then. Welcome to the game, by the way.
Yeah, welcome, Nathan.
How many questions are we?
Each one.
One each.
Yeah. Okay. So I was around for the one you just asked, Guillaume.
Yeah, the affiliation. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right, gentlemen, we'll send you back and we'll get back to the game. Okay, so you passed off to me. I am going to draw my free card. All right. And then generate my res, which is 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna I'll use Mulder's 2 res for 2 cards, and then I'm gonna buy 2, so 4 total. Oop. Yeah. There we go. 2, 3, 4, and I turn to you to sell and buy.
I like all the cards that I have in my hand, but I do need to sell something. I'm going to sell Dr. Daniel Trepkos for 2, and yeah, just that one card. And okay, well, I might end up regretting it, but I'm going to sell the Apollo 11 Kitchen as well for 4. Which
one was that?
It's the Apollo 11 keychain.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it allows you to add 1 to your agent's res. I would have liked to keep it, but yeah, I do need to buy some more cards. And I'm going to buy 5 cards. All right, back to you.
All right, no healing or requisition. Deployment, I'm going to keep all my agents in the field where they are. So I will go right to case assignments. And I'm going to go to Gerald Schnauz's RV in Traverse City, Michigan. This is a criminal investigation 4+, and I ask a result question. And I'll use one of Mulder's tokens to pay for that.
All right, so let me see what I want to do. So result, you said?
Correct, yes.
because I have two possibilities, but I need to see if I can actually pay for them or if it will make if one is better than the other. Okay, no bluffs.
All right. Same as last time. I'm going to move all 4 agents to the site. Anything else you would like to play, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to play an adversary. I'd like to play the Sandman for 4. So it says this creature has long range combat and close range combat equal to the highest combat rating on the opposing team, +1. So it's an evolutionary creature and its activators are Result and Conspiracy.
Okay. The highest
do
I
you-
have, well, all my guys except for Henderson are 2 and 2. Henderson is
All
1
right.
and 1. So you would be what, 3 and 3 then?
3 and 3, yeah. And I'm also going to play a combat card for 2. And it's semi-jacketed hollow points. And it says play this card on any combatant in a long-range combat round to add 2 points to that combatant's long-range skill. So that put his long-range skill at 5, sorry. So he will be dealing his 5 to Mulder.
Oh, Stephen wants to interject here.
Guillaume, you're the long. This is long range, right, or close range?
Yep,
Long range.
long range, yes.
The long range you're getting is 3, not prior to the combat card. You got 3, right?
Yeah.
And that's based
Yeah.
on who?
So Mulder has 2, and then the Sandman is the highest +1.
+1.
So
okay, I didn't
yeah.
catch the +1 part. It was in there. You and I missed that in our previous game, the one that I just posted, and that was my fault too because I was reading the card and somehow my eyes just glazed over that little +1 that's at the end of that parenthesis, and I was like, never again. Not that it made much of a difference, but yeah, I just didn't hear it uttered that point. But anyway, carry on, gentlemen. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be dealing 5, and well, just thinking out loud, but if I do, I know that I'm just going to be sending 1 agent to the hospital because you will be killing me during that round. So if I send Agent Mulder, it won't prevent your investigation, and you'll probably be able to get him out of the hospital during your next turn anyway. So I should have saved that combat card for something else. Okay, I'm going to send. Okay. Okay, I'm going to send Henderson to the hospital instead, so she'll be out of commission for a few more turns.
Okay.
So you're still free to, you still make your skill check and you're still free to ask your question. I don't have any more cards to play against your team.
All right. Results. Just like you, I always have to refamiliarize myself and see which one's going to give me the most here. But I'm going to go, is your result psychological?
So physiological, you mean?
Oh, physiological, yes.
Oh, no, it's not.
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
No, it's not.
No, okay. All right, let's move to debriefing. Ooh, I have 9 cards. I got to make some difficult choices here.
And I have 8.
Hmm. I'm going to sell or discard Assassinated and Detective Sharon Lazard.
All right, and
Me
I'm
at-
discarding Planet Bets.
That puts me at 7, so I will turn it over to you.
All right, drawing my free card. I'm going to generate my res, which is 6, so 13. And and I'm going to buy 2 cards. I'm going to buy 2 cards and passing it back to you.
Okay. I am going to sell Carver's Accommodation for 3. And I'll buy 1 just to see what happens. And I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so no healing, no requisition. For deployment, I'm keeping everyone in the field. Sorry. Okay, and before we go any further, I'm going to play post-mortem for 1. It says if the team makes a medical 4+ skill check, add 5 tokens to the resource pool. So yeah, they have 8 medical total. So I'm adding the 5. And we are going to go investigate the genetics clinic in Marin County, California. It costs 2. I'm using Spiros token to pay for 1 since it's a science. Oh no, sorry, I can't. It's medical, so no. So I'm paying for 2. So it's medical 4+, and it's an affiliation question.
Okay. No bluffs.
All right, I'm sending everyone to the site.
Okay. Ooh. What was the skill check for your site again?
It's a medical 4+.
Okay. I'm going to play an adversary, the gray-haired man. All prior witness resource cards are immediately discarded. This adversary may use martial arts and subterfuge. Damage caused by this adversary during long-range combat may be split among all opponents, directed players' choice. He
All right,
costs.
so Andy Taylor is removed. Oh, it's too bad. All right, so let's go to combat then.
All right, long-range combat is 7.
And mine is 7 as well, I think. Yeah, 7 as well.
Okay. My health is 6, so you're definitely going to knock me out, but I still do 7 damage to you, right?
Yep.
And I can split it among combatants. So if I remember correctly, Scully is 4.
Yeah, she has a health of 4 and she's contributing 4 to the medical skill check.
Okay, so I have 3 left to send off. I might have to ask you which of your agents has 3 or
So
less.
they all have 3 health.
Okay.
And Speeder and Kosef both have, Speeder has medical 3 and Kosef has medical 1. And the other two don't have medical.
Okay, so it'll be Scully and, did you say Spiller?
Yes, Speeder, she has 3 medical as well.
It'll be those two then.
All right, so before we continue, I'm going to play Melissa Scully for 3. And it says, add 2 to one team's occult investigation or subterfuge skill check. Alternately, play this card when Agent Dana Scully is damaged in combat. Dana Scully takes no damage and Melissa Scully is damaged instead. Remove this card from the game. So Spiro still goes to the hospital with 3 damage on her, but Scully stays in the field. That's one witness card that I had in my hand since the beginning, and I've resisted the urge to sell her. So yeah, finally. I've had Scully on my team for on several occasions, and I always had Melissa Scully in my deck, but she has never come up, or if I had her in my hand, there were no adversaries, so I'm glad that she has actually served her purpose.
Right on.
Do you have any other card? So I still have medical 5.
Yeah, I've got nothing to stop you now.
All right. So it's an affiliation question. Is your affiliation government?
It is not.
Okay. Yeah, it's always faster when it's an affiliation question. And I just have 7 cards in my hand, so no discard.
I have 6.
All right. Well, passing it back to you then.
Very good. I will draw for turn. And and generate res, which is currently just 2. I'm just going to use Mulder's 2 res to buy 2 cards, and that'll be it. And I'll turn
All
to
right.
you.
All right, well, I'm just going to discard 1 card then. I'm going to discard Icy Cape for 2. And I am not going to I'm not going to buy any card.
Okay. Then we will move on to healing, and Agent Henderson will heal 1. Is it if your health is 3 or more you do 2, or is it just it's 4 or more, isn't it?
It's 4 or more.
4 or more, yeah, I thought so. So Henderson will just heal 1. No requisition. Deployment, my 3 agents will remain in the field where they are. And case assignment, I'm going to play Olympic National Forest in beautiful Washington State. I will use Mulder's last token to pay for that. Yeah, they do. It is evidence collection 4 or more and a result question.
Okay, so I have 1 bluff for that side.
Okay. I'll move all 3 and let's see that bluff.
It's Senator Sorensen. It costs 6, but it's 5 since it was face down. It says force 1 agent with the keyword FBI, your choice excluding Fox Mulder or RX check, back to the bureau immediately. The agent may not leave the bureau, requisition equipment, or contribute their skills until either the controlling player pays 7 RP or reveals all the cards in their hand.
Ouch. Well, keyword
So
FBI.
Yeah, it's Pendrell. It has to be Pendrell's.
It
I
has
would
to
have
be-
liked to send Mulder back to the bureau, but it has to be Pendrell.
Which is the, yeah, that's the highest one, but we'll move him back.
Yeah, but you still make your skill check of 4+. So
I do. And unless there's anything else.
no, I don't have anything else, and I can't pay for anything else. So that was kind of the only card that I have, which is why I did not buy any more cards, because I knew that I could just barely afford that one. So it won't hinder your investigation this turn, but hopefully during the next turn it will prevent you from investigating something, I hope.
Okay.
So you're free to ask your question.
All right. A result question again. Let's see here. Is your result death?
Is your what?
Is your result death?
Yes, it is.
All right. Just a couple more to scribble off here. All right, moving to debriefing. 2, 4, 7, 8 cards. I need to discard 1.
So I have 5, so no discarding for me.
I was looking forward to doing this one, but I'm going to discard terminal damage.
Yeah, it's a nice one, but it does cost a lot, and when you factor in the adversary that you have had to play before, so yeah, unless
Yeah,
you're sitting on a lot of CP.
Don't see myself getting that much CP in the near future. So we'll leave it at that. And with that, I turn it over to you.
All right. So drawing my free card, generating my res, which is now 5 since Speeder is in the hospital. And I am going to buy 5 cards. Yeah, and hold on. Yeah, I'm going to buy 6 cards.
Six cards.
Yeah, and I'm passing it back to you. I'm really hoping to get past that part of the deck where all of the same cards seems to be regrouped, but unfortunately, there are still, I'm still drawing almost all the same cards, so it's kind of hard to manage something.
All right, I am going to sell Gerald Schnauz's RV for 2. And I will not buy any, so I turn back to you, sir.
Okay. Okay, that's too much. Okay, so I'm going to play. Oh, so, no, sorry. So no, healing. So Speeder heals 1. Requisition. I am not requisitioning anything. For deployment, I'm keeping everybody where they are. And for case assignment, we are going to go back to Greenwood Memorial Hospital to investigate that one.
Yeah. One bluff.
All right. So let's see them. I'm sending everyone to the site.
Okay. It's another no trespassing. Play this card to prevent all agents with keyword FBI from contributing their skills to the site. Cost is 3, but I played it upside down, so it's 2.
So basically that prevents all of my agents from contributing to the site. So since there was another bluff, but the investigation is prevented, does the other bluff gets played, or since I can't investigate, is the investigation ending and is the second bluff not revealed? There was already one bluff on that side, so.
Let's bring in the bosses here. I trust you were listening in, gentlemen.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Give me a sec.
So can you read me the text of no trespass?
Oh, it's just a question of So there was already one bluff on the site from a previous turn, and I had decided to not to investigate at that point. So I went back
Because
to
we,
the
we know
site,
it's
and
Gulag Bird, but yeah.
so I know what it is. And so I went back to the site, and David played the second bluff, and that bluff prevents me from investigating. So is the second bluff still being played, or is the investigation ended at that point?
Yeah, and that's why I'm curious about the text of no trespass. If it says, well, I think it just says your agents can't contribute to the skill check, right? So I think the skill check is going to happen, which means you still have to resolve the bluffs.
Yeah, you
So,
have to do, yeah. They both have to be played face up. Although, I suppose the order in which you play the bluffs face up, could. Yeah, I mean, I know, like with the, especially when you're looking at the Gulag Bird. Well, actually, it's not like car troubles where the no trespass isn't like car troubles where the agent is like going to be like, away from the team. So I guess the Gulag Bird would be still applicable to even one of the agents that have like the keyword FBI that the no trespassing would be not permitting to take part in the skill check. Was that the question, Guillaume, that you had, or?
Yeah, it's basically, since no trespassing basically ends my investigation.
Oh, if it's ending it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
because,
And that was the first one that you played face up, David? Or did you play the Gulag Bird first?
I played no trespassing first.
You played that one face up first, and that's killing Guillaume's investigation. He can't negate it. Then I guess we would stop. I think I've had a game like that where it's like, well, yeah, that's it. Game over, or round over. Discard the site, discard everything else, right, Nathan?
Hold up, though. No trespass doesn't actually stop the investigation. It says
all of my agents have the keyword FBI agent, so none of them can actually investigate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the investigation, like there's still going to be a phase where the site is going to check if the prerequisites are met. So if I recall right, no trespass, all it says is any agents with the FBI keyword cannot contribute their skills, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So in theory, I mean, it's plausible. I understand what you're saying. None of your agents can contribute their skills, but I mean, the card itself allows for a skill check to happen. And it just so happens in this case, you're going to fail it. There's no way around that, but it still allows the skill check to happen. Let's say you had a bluff that said, perform a sciences 4+ skill check. If you fail the site investigation or something like that. That I think I would feel differently about it, where it would end it immediately. But since this one still allows the site check to happen, I think you go through the normal process and you do the bluffs, and then you do the site check. And I understand you're going to fail it, but it still happens.
I would agree that we play all the bluffs before we do the site investigation. So,
right.
If I were able to pay for that Gulag Bird card, we would still play it, and then we would go to the skill check, and that's when we would decide, no one's able to contribute their skills.
Right. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that seems fair. And actually, not that it matters for this game, but I think during one of my game with Steven, we had this question where could I at this point say my investigation is going to fail, so I'm forfeiting the investigation of the site? Could that happen? No, knowing that there is still one bluff. Well, now I know what the bluff is because I knew it from a previous round. But if I did not know what the bluff was, could I say, okay, I know I'm going to fail. I can't stop the second bluff, so I'm forfeiting the investigation.
I mean, to my knowledge, there's no provision in the rules that lets you.
There is not.
Self-forfeit. Once you've made the decision to investigate, I think you are committed to investigating.
All right.
Which seems reasonable, yeah, based on the lack of like, it's stating it in the rule book. It's like, oh, hey, here's an out for you.
Right.
You can take, but it's still an interesting one nonetheless because the opponent is still going to benefit one way or the other. In that, it's like, well, he's forfeiting his investigation. That's good
No
news for me.
question asked.
But
Yeah, and you're not paying for the second bluff in the instance where you could actually pay it. You're not paying for the bluff, so actually you're kind of saving your CPs and you're getting what you want. But the opponent might not. You could have, I don't know, sinus cavity implant and something. So the investigating player is also kind of getting away with something. So I don't know. It's not what I want to do here, obviously, but it's a question that we've talked about with Steven, and so it never happened during any of the games that I've played or that I've watched.
And the conspiracy player always has that option. Like in this instance, let's say it wasn't, the Gulag bird, it's going to send an agent to the Gulag, so it's helpful anyway. But let's say it was like a Detective Thompson or something like that. Who cares, right? I mean, the conspiracy player wouldn't pay for it at that point if they knew that you were already going to fail the site check.
Yeah.
So, as a practical matter, I think it's only in these weird kind of corner cases where you've got a card that winds up sending the agent somewhere else for potentially a few turns where they would want to actually play it.
Did he swallow?
But yeah. I think once you've committed to the investigation, you've committed yourself to
Whatever happens to you,
any and all bad things that could happen to you there. Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, in that case, I know that David can pay for the Gulag card, so that's a moot point. But it's always good to ask those kind of very specific questions that in situations that don't happen during every game. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
All right, so in that case, David, I'm going to play Langley on your bluff to negate it.
To negate the no trespassing?
No trespass. Yeah.
I thought I was getting away with that too easy.
No, so it's 2. And okay, so it's a medical 5+, and I have 5, and I have 5. So just barely making the skill check. It's an affiliation or method question. Is your affiliation primordial?
It is not.
All right, so the site is discarded, and before we move out of the no, never mind. So we can move on to debriefing then, and I have a lot of cards to discard. Sorry, it's taking so long. It's the problem when you drew too many cards at the beginning.
Yeah, that's happened to me lots of times.
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm discarding 3 sides, which gives you an idea of what type of cards I've been drawing since the beginning of the game. All of my side cards seems to be coming up at the beginning, at the top of the deck, and I'm also going to have to sell first aid. And I now have 7 cards in my hand. So passing it to you.
All right. I will draw for turn. Generates res. Now, Pendrell still generates res, even though he got moved to the bureau.
So hold on. So the agent may not leave the bureau, requisition equipment, or contribute their skills. Also, yeah, he can still generate res.
Okay. So I'll
Unless
use this
there
one.
was a version unless that was changed on the, but I think I have the final version of the card, but
We're going to check in with our author at large here.
yeah.
Yeah, I know there was like a bit of back and forth on that, but I believe, Guillaume, you are correct that you were holding the current version of that because ultimately it came down to text space. So I was like, you know what, let's not include res on there. And
You
so
know what,
we
there is
just
still
don't.
there is still room for it,
Is
so
there?
we can still, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
I
But-
mean, they're in the bureau, so
Well, not for tonight though, but
not for
if
tonight.
at
No, I'm
some
saying
point-
for the final one.
yeah.
Let me scroll over because it's cut off.
Who's having the X-Files in the background?
That would be
Is that
Nathan,
you,
right?
Nathan?
That's me. DPO.
Oh, is that what you're watching?
Yeah, I just watched
Nice.
Clyde Bruckman.
Yeah, Guillaume, as you read
Okay.
it, yeah, it's the current version. So yeah, you can get res, Nate. You can get res, David.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So I will generate res. That's 1 from Pendrell and 1 from Tillman. So big 2. And I am going to buy, let's see. I'll take Mulder's 2 from his res and I'll buy 2. So 4 cards.
So I have I have 4 cards to sell. I'm going to be selling a Scully Family Gathering, which I wanted to keep, but I at least already had Melissa Scully in my hand, so you know. So for 2, Dr. Blockhead for 2, Kurt Crawford for 2, and Reconnaissance for 3. So that's so that's 9 total. And out of those 9, I'm going to buy 4 cards. And passing it back to you.
All right. I'll move to healing, and Agent Henderson heals 1. And she's still stuck in the hospital, right? With 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Spiller, she has to
health.
wait until, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And, I'm going to play, if I may, White Buffalo for 4. You may remove 1 game effect token or wound token from any cards under your control. So I'll pay 4
right.
to heal Agent Henderson's last 1. And no requisitions, so I'll move to deployment, and I'm going to deploy Agent Henderson to the field. And at that time, I'm going to use her token. Discard a token and look through your bureau deck to draw any one site that asks a motive question. Let's see if I can find one in all this stuff. All right, it says add it to your hand and reshuffle, so it doesn't look like I have to show it to you, so I'll just add it right to my hand. And I'll see if I can manhandle this deck here and get it shuffled. In the meantime, I will move to case assignment and play this site. It is Oil Refinery, Alberta, Canada. It is evidence collection 4 or more, and ask a motive question, and the cost is 2. And I will turn to you if you have any bluffs.
I have 1 bluff. No. 2 bluffs.
2 bluffs.
Yep.
Got that big old smile on your face.
Oh.
Just a couple more here, and I'll be satisfied with the sufficient randomization of my deck here.
I think at some point I'm going to have to use Anderson's token, if for nothing else but to get a chance to reshuffle my deck. And I think I should have done that at the beginning when I saw that everything was regrouped.
All right, there we go. Cut. And now I've got some decisions to make here. 2 bluffs. I really want to ask this question. I'm going to move all 3 to the site.
All right. So the first bluff is Nasty Surprise. It costs 3, but it's 2 since it was face down. And it allows me to add 5 to my conspiracy pool. And the second bluff is Cancerous Nosebleed, which costs 5, but it's 4 since it was face down. And I think you're familiar with that one.
I am. Which agent is that going to be?
I'm going to inflict it to Agent Mulder.
Okay.
So again, nothing that can prevent your investigation. I'm really trying to put your agents out of commission, but you still somehow manage to still make the skill checks. So that's and you know, before I let you ask your question, I'm going to hold on. Can I do this or not? No. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to play Insanity on Rye for 1, which will allow me to change 1 keyword low to Insanity, and I'm going to put that 1 on Tillman.
I'm sorry, what are we doing again? Insanity on Rye, what does that do?
On Rye, so it changes 1 keyword low to Insanity. And basically it just does that, and it's something maybe for a future turn, but you know, I have that card in my hand, so instead of discarding it, I'm attaching it to Tillman.
Fair enough.
So again, nothing that can prevent your investigation, so you are still free to ask your question.
All right, then I will ask, is your motive control?
Yeah, it is control.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, my math is correct. I've got you down to 4 possibilities there.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's correct. Are you tempted to ask an identity question?
Oh, I am really sweating this one. I am curious. Yeah, I'm going to ask, is your X-File John Barnett?
No, it's not.
All right, hit me with that penalty.
Right, so I can either ask an identity question or a motive question, correct? That was a motive question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so is your motive ideology?
Yes, it is.
Oh, finally, a yes answer. Okay. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, I have you down to 5 now, and I can't ask an identity question, and I wouldn't have asked one anyway. So, okay, I have 4 cards in my hand.
I have 9. Yikes. I'll discard Nobody Cares and Extended Sentence. Oh, we lost a camera there. Oh. There you are.
Yeah, that's better. I'm back. Yeah, and it usually happens during the game. The fun shuts down for just, I don't know, the browser just restarts and I have to start the game everything again. But so, did you discard your card?
I discarded extended sentence and nobody cares. I'm down to 7.
All right. So I'm drawing my free card. Okay. I'm going to generate my res, which is 5. And I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy 6 cards. Hmm. 5 cards. All right, and passing it back to you.
Okay, I have no cards to sell and nothing to buy, so back to you.
Okay. So healing, I'm going to heal 1 from Nancy. Requisition, I am not requisitioning anything. For deployment, everybody stays in the field. And for case assignment, we are going to go investigate the flight 549 crash site in upstate New York. It's a bureaucracy 5+ or evidence collection 5+. And sorry, I'm taking that one back. So sorry, not useless. We're going to go to Baltimore instead. It's a sciences 5+ skill check or evidence collection 5+, and it's a method or result question. I'm paying 1 for the site.
Okay, I have 2 bluffs.
Okay, I'm sending everyone to the site. Also, everyone's going.
Okay. First bluff is Detective Miles. Pay 1 conspiracy point to move up to 2 res points from your opponent's res pool to your pool, conspiracy pool immediately. It costs 1, but I played it upside down, so it's free. I'll pay 1 to gain 2.
And I'm removing 2.
Very good. And then the second bluff is Laser Barrier. Play to prevent 1 agent assigned to the site from contributing the agent's skills to 1 skill check, my choice, that the team makes this turn. That costs 2, but I played it upside down, so it costs 1.
All right.
And did we determine which?
So
skill?
no, we didn't actually. So I was my initial. Well, I was going to investigate sciences. So yeah. So sciences, I currently have. I currently have 6, and everyone but Karen Kosef is contributing to the skill check. Scully is contributing 3, Henderson 2, and Hayden 1.
So I can block Scully, but you still make it, right?
If you block Scully, I only have 3.
Okay, that's what I will do.
All right. So you're paying for that bluff then? Or did you already pay for it?
I already paid. Yep.
All right. So I'm going to play Margaret Scully. Adds 1 to one team's medical or science skill check. This card may be played for 0 and be treated as a +4 to the appropriate skill if Agent Dana Scully is in the hospital, or if the witness card Melissa Scully has been removed from the game, which he has been previously. So it's free and it allows me to add 4 to the science skill check. So I now have 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I have 7.
I guess that takes care of that.
So it's either a method or result question. Okay, and then is your result this is so hard. Is your result physiological imbalance?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, that narrows it down. Okay, so I now have you down to 2, but I will not be asking an identity question because you are getting too close to the identity of my X-file. I have 1 or 2 chances, and it's a playtest, so I want to see a few more of those cards being played. So, and I've learned from my last game with Steven that I should be careful when asking an identity question because, yeah, the last time the penalty question really, it really hindered me. So no, nothing yet. So we can move on to debriefing.
Okay. I have 5 cards, so no discard.
And I have 8. I'm going to discard the crush site, and I now have 7 cards.
All right.
And pass.
I'm up.
And so before we move, can I play one last card before we? I'm going to play Street Contacts. Sorry, my voice is going away. I'm going to play Street Contacts for 1 to search my bureau deck for 1 weakness. And I'm going to shuffle my deck through. Okay, I hope this will give me better cards for the final rounds. All right, so you can show the witness to your opponent. So I drew the thinker.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I drew the thinker witness card.
Gotcha.
And I still have 7 cards, so we can pass it to you.
All right, I'll draw for turn. All right. Draw for turn, and now res 1, 2, 3 points, and then Mulder has a his nasal cavity implant, so he only generates 1. And I am going to buy 3.
So what did you say about Mulder?
Oh, here we go. And Steven's waving us his hands as well here.
Well, no, it's what Guillaume's about to say. So go ahead, Guillaume.
Yeah, so Mulder has a cancerous nosebleed. It has not a sinus cavity implant.
Oh. Then I might have to ask you to refresh my memory on that because I was.
Oh yeah, I actually think you play this card to add cancer to an opposing agent's keyword. That agent's health is reduced by 1 for each of the opponent's debriefing phases that the agent spends outside of the hospital. If the agent's
That
health
was
is
the
reduced to
last
0.
turn, so yeah.
Yeah. So actually, when I played that card on Mulder, he should have had 1 health removed at the end of that turn, correct?
Yeah, debriefing.
All right. Well,
Yeah, should be 2 rounds. Yeah, 2 rounds. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did not. Yeah, I forgot about that card. But yes, should have probably. Yeah, it sounds like because you haven't had Mulder in the hospital, David, for your previous 2, well, including that one. So yeah, it should be 2 damage tokens on Mulder at this point. And at the end of this round, if Mulder isn't in the hospital, you'll put a 3rd one on him. If in the debriefing, if Mulder's, yeah, which, I mean, you could take him to the hospital if you don't think you'll need him this round, but yeah. Then again, you're close to wrapping it up, so then again, yeah, you may decide to bite the bullet on it, but yeah, depending on where Mulder is at the end of the debriefing, put a token on him. If the game's still going on at that point.
Right on. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. All right, well, in that case, I already got my points, so I'm going to get 2 cards for Mulder's res, and then I'm going to buy 3. So 5 cards total. 1, 3, 4, 5. And I will turn over to you.
all right. So I'm going to sell the Thinker for 5 and the Medicate for 4. Puts me up to 12. And I'm going to buy. Hold on, let me check. I need to play this very carefully. So, I'm going to buy 4 cards or 5. I'm going to 4. Sorry, let me check one more time. I'm so sorry. This. 3 cards. And back to you.
All right. Healing phase. No one's in the hospital, so no healing. No requisition. Deployment. Deployment. First and foremost, I'm going to play, while Fox is in the field, I'm going to play First Aid. That's a free card.
Oh, you can't play that one yet because you have to wait
Oh,
until
'cause it's combat.
as of
It's
yeah.
combat. Okay. In that case, I'll start deployment and I'll move Mulder to the hospital.
Lily.
And I do not have anything for case assignment. Unless you have any other cards, I'll move straight to debriefing.
No, I don't have any other cards to play.
Okay.
And do you need to discard? I need to discard one card.
I have 11, so I've got some difficult
yeah.
decisions to make here. Oops.
So I'm discarding one card. I'm discarding a combat card, Illusionary Foe.
All right. So I had 11, 10, 9, 8, and that makes 7. So I discarded 2 El Chupacabras. First Aid.
2.
I was gunning for you. And
Yeah.
Deputy Barney Pastor. That gets me to 7.
All right. So, and I still 12, 7 as well. So I'm drawing my free card. I am going to generate my res, which is still 5. And I'm going to use Agent Aidin's token to look through my bureau deck and draw any keyword, evidence, or evidence collection card. Maybe something else. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, and I'm going to shuffle my deck one more time. to buy any card. I'm going to buy 2 cards and passing it to you.
Okay. I'm going to sell 3. Sell hospital gown for 3. Hard evidence for 2. And jailbreak for 2. That's 2, 4, 7. Conspiracy. And I will not buy anything, so I'll turn it back to you.
Okay. So no requisite. I'm sorry. Healing first. So I'm removing Spiller's last token. No requisition for deployment. I'm sending Spiller back to the field. And for case assignment, we are going to go investigate the medical center in Pittsburgh. It costs 1. It's a medical 5+ or evidence collection 5+, and it's a motive or method question.
I would ask, how many cards do you have in your hand?
I have 10 cards.
10 cards. And what's the skill check on your side again?
Medical or evidence collection.
All right. One bluff.
Okay, I'm going to use Scully's last token to see the bluff.
The bluff is Detective Joe Curtis. Force your opponent to discard 1 witness from their hand. If your opponent has no witnesses in their hand, this card has no effect. If your opponent has a witness to discard, then attach Detective Curtis to 1 investigating agent, my choice. The agent is arrested and may not contribute any skill checks until the remaining team makes a criminal investigation 4 or more skill check.
Can you read the first part of the?
Force your opponent to discard 1 witness from their hand. If your opponent has no witnesses in their hand, this card has no effect. If your opponent has a witness to discard, then attach Detective Curtis to 1 investigating agent, your choice. The agent is arrested and may not contribute any skill checks until the remaining team makes a criminal investigation 4 or more.
Okay, so this bluff can go back to underneath the site. So we are still in case assignment. So before we move on to the investigation, I'm going to play 1 witness. I'm going to play Michelle Wilkes, adds 1 to 1 team's medical skill check once per turn. And we can move to the investigation phase. And I'm sending everyone to the site.
Okay. Well, I assume since you played your witness that you probably don't have any in your hand.
No, no, I can show up the judges. That's the only witness that I had in my hand.
No, that's all right. I believe you. In that case, I'm not going to engage the bluff there. I'm just going to discard.
Yeah, it's kind of a situation where you kind of have to trust that your opponent is being honest, because I could say I don't have any witness, and since it doesn't say that you have to show your hand to your opponent, you just kind of have to trust that your opponent is, being a good player. And yeah, so Scully's token was actually really useful in this situation.
It was. That worked out really well.
Yeah.
You said you're moving your whole team.
Oh my god. I feel like a quarantine zone is coming my way. So, well, I already said I'm moving my whole team, so I'm not changing that.
All right. Well, I'm going to play this just for the sake of getting it on the table. It is Dr. Jack Franklin, an adversary. If this adversary is played on a witness that contributes to a medical skill check, the witness is removed from the game. I don't think that applies. The long-range combat round is skipped for the opposing team, but not for Dr. Jack Franklin. Agents must use their medical skill as their value in close-range combat. If an agent has no medical skill, their value is 1. That costs 8, so I'm down to 0. Now I know that makes Scully's close-range combat like 4, right?
Yep. So
Okay.
long range is skipped for me, and how much damage does he deal during long range combat?
4.
Okay. And the part about the witness, because currently Michelle Wilkes, she's a resource witness, she's not contributing to the skill check yet, but she is in play. So does that apply to Dr. Franklin's game effect?
I believe it does, but let's bring in our special guest.
Read the part about the witness on the card, David.
If the adversary is played on a witness that contributes to a medical skill check, the witness is removed from the game. But I didn't play it on a witness, though, right?
Well, that's just a stipulation that if there is a witness on there, you don't have to necessarily do so because that's not the activator. The activator for Franklin is what, medical?
Conspiracy and medical, yeah.
Yeah. So the witness, it's kind of like with the gray-haired man, where if if there was a witness resource card in play, it gets discarded. But it's not like it's an if, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the Franklin card can't be played.
Oh no, I agree. It's just because my question was, she's already in play, and she's not contributing to the skill check yet.
Right.
She's just there. So it's like,
well, okay, so all right, I see where this is going now, and Nathan, if you're there, I would mind some, because the thing is you did play it, so it's kind of like, can you play that and be like, yeah, the witness is that an option? It's like if it's in play, doesn't it automatically contribute, just like any agent that has a medical skill check, they're going to automatically contribute whether you want to or not. But does that still also apply to witnesses that have?
For instance, she doesn't have any tokens on her, but no, it just says adds 1 to one team's medical skill check. But in the situation where it's a witness who has tokens on the witness card.
She is one of those. Yeah, she's one of those that you have to discard a token to add, right?
No, she's not.
She's not. Let me flip to her real quick. Sorry, because now I've written so many witnesses. It's hard to keep track. Let me just flip to her real quick because now I'm just getting confused to what she does. All right. Yeah, Yeah, it does say she is contributing to one, and this is medical, right? You're doing medical.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's contributes to one medical skill check once per turn. But then again, those once per turn cards, of which there's, it's possible. It's like
do they automatically? It's a new technical question because
it is, and it's like, because it's like, what if you had like 2 sites going on that were both medical, and it's like, well, it's once per turn, kind of have to say which one. Okay.
Because for instance, I would not have needed her
Yeah, I
for the
know you
skill
played
check,
it to avoid the bluff. Yeah, I know. I know.
if yeah, so that's really a situation. Do you have to wait until you say, okay, I have 4+1 from the witness, and then you play the adversary that says, okay, the witness is actually contributing to the skill check, so it's removed, well, it's negated, or
Okay.
since the witness is there, and it's kind of the situation where there are tokens on the witness where you actually have to remove a
Yeah,
token
because
to.
that is different. If that were the case, it's like no, because he didn't remove a token to contribute. So,
Well, I
Once
would think when
I'm-
you move your
yeah.
when you move your agents to a site, that's when you say, okay, the prerequisite is 4+. Scully is 3, and so is 2, and so is 1, and my witness adds 2.
Mhm.
Right. So if you didn't say your witness,
Yeah,
I would assume that they would not
Yeah,
be contributing.
because that is happening before the bluffs are revealed. As if you follow the what the sub, what the skill check subroutine listed in the rules. That's true. That is true. So yeah, she's not contributing because in that
if
sense.
you did not declare that she was contributing,
Mhm.
then
Yeah, I can live with that.
Then she's safe from the adversary card.
Yeah, and Guillaume doesn't need her at this point in
At this
time,
point.
though very
But-
well, depending how the Jack Franklin card resolves,
But
and he might suddenly need her.
But imagine that combat occurs and Scully is removed from it goes to the hospital. Then can I
Yeah.
say, okay, I'm going to use Michelle Wilkes?
Yeah, it's once per turn. It's once per turn, as stated on the Michelle Wilkes card. So
Well,
yeah,
then he's kind of getting
he's
his
sneaking her
cake
in the
and
back
eating it too,
door,
right?
yeah.
Because he didn't declare it, so he gets to avoid the adversary. But then afterward, he gets to declare it again.
See, that's because there is only one other card. Like, I think there's like one card in the commercially released cards that's like that, and that's no, there's a couple. It's like Samantha Mulder with the subterfuge once per turn skill check, whereas Dr. Diamond's attached to an agent, but still the same thing. Nathan, are you there?
I think Nathan is deep in GPO.
Yeah.
He's riveted.
Gentlemen.
Well,
This is
you know
not an
what?
easy one.
I think we can keep that in mind for after the game. I think in that instance, we can actually say that she was contributing to the skill check, and but it's just maybe something to keep in mind for, just to make a rule about that, because it really is a technicality.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's not like it's a fault of. I mean, you can't say it's like a fault of the Michelle Wilkes card, because the mechanic is existing before in Premiere, so it's like nothing I change on Michelle Wilkes is going to change.
Yeah, basically it's a resource. If you're not using it, if you don't need it, does it actually count or not?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't pull it out of your your bureau deck or your hand to aid in this. So and the Franklin card says play on a witness that's contributing to the skill check, right?
Well, it just says contribute to a medical skill check.
Okay. Let me turn my attention to that now.
Well, I'm glad I played this card, even though it's not going to do a lot.
On a witness that contributes to a medical skill check. I mean,
to that it kind of makes
it's like
it makes it seem like it would negate her.
It does seem like, because it's like, as it's written, it's like it's a witness that has the ability to contribute to a medical skill check, which she does.
Yeah.
Or as opposed to, like, if it's written like if the adversary is played on a witness that is contributing to a medical skill check, that sort of does change it. But as it's written, that has the ability to do that. Now, give me an example, because I know I've written that based on a. I have written that based on an existing mechanic, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think a lot of those resource witnesses from Premiere, I think they have this kind of effect. So yeah, as you said, nothing wrong with the.
Oh no, that's just a
with
team
the
that plays a
card
witness. That's just
like you have the Samantha Mulder card. It says adds 1-to-1 team subterfuge skill check once per turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and Dr. Diamond's the other one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Although he's attached to an agent, but yeah.
So no, yeah. Given that, I'd say that that's fair, and she should be removed from the game.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that, and again, that's going to be one of those things where I think the two people who are whoever's playing the game, and then that comes up, it's like, hey, they're gonna have to resolve it themselves. It's like, I mean, but I think if we keep with the text as it is, and I'm inclined to do so, if the adversary is played on a witness that contributes to a medical skill check, because, yeah, she does do that. Therefore,
if it said contributes to the medical skill check, then it would
or to the site medical skill check. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So that means, for instance, even if I was so let's say Michelle Wilkes, I had played her to avoid detective the previous bluff, but I was actually investigating, let's say, criminal investigation. But Michelle Wilkes was still, she's a resource, so she's there, not contributing to the skill check. But since she's contributing potentially to a medical skill check, could Dr. Franklin still be played, given that you have that weakness?
The medical activator would have to be in place for, like, on the
she
site.
Has a keyword.
You're playing it on a site, right? Well,
but
what's that?
Franklin just has medical as activator. He doesn't have site.
Yeah, as an activator.
He just has conspiracy and medical.
So, yeah. Oh, and yeah.
See, I would think it would apply because it says the witness that contributes to a medical skill check, which kind of opens it up to the whole field.
It does. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking activator. Yeah, not keyword. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Keyword. Yes, because she does. Michelle Wilkes does have the keyword. So even though you're investigating a site that's criminal, unrelated, but she's a witness resource, so she's.
Yeah, so she's there. So basically, she's opening up the team to any opponents that have the. Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it does kind of. It does point to a a bit of a risk factor. That, I mean, granted, in the worst case, you wind up losing her. And in that scenario, it's like, well, she wasn't contributing to the criminal investigation skill check anyway. But it's like, that does kind of burn you. For,
and it allows your opponent to play the adversary, so you're actually damaging.
It does render them open, and yes, as we're about to see,
all right,
about to get down and dirty with the instruments, and as the quote says, I hope those instruments were properly sterilized. Yep.
Okay, well, we can resume combat then. But it was a good situation to clear things up.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, I mean, we really had to talk it out, but it's, again, I can't really say it's a fault of the cards as the
absolutely not.
A game mechanic, an overall game mechanic that is, I wouldn't say it's unique. It's like it comes up in other circles where, like, let's say you have example, like Darren Peter Oswald has an activator of sciences, and so let's say you have
a resource witness.
Resource witness. Is it Dr. Grissom that does the? No, it's Dr. Nolet. Dr. Nolet has that. Pay an RP for every time like a sciences card is played. So yeah, it's there. So yeah, it does open the door. So it's not unique to the expansion. It is pre-existing risk that that might be a little more ability to be exploited more so with these expansion adversaries. Anyway, carry on, gentlemen.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Nathan.
Yep. Oh, what happened there?
Wrong one.
Oh, by the way, Guillaume, kudos on using the Scully family to their utmost effect. I mean, my gosh. Like, if
You know
it
what?
happened the other way with Melissa Scully came up first, or no, if Margaret Scully came up first and Melissa Scully, it would not have worked as perfectly as it did in that order.
During my first turn, I actually drew a Scully family gathering, Melissa Scully and Margaret Scully. So I had them all.
Really using the Scully family cards, and I love it. It's great.
I did not like that. I did not like that.
I can imagine.
David, you had him, but then it's like, ooh, gosh, he has, of all of them, he's got Melissa freaking Scully, ultra rare card, right there when he needed it the most. Well, I mean, it's just one of those timely things that, you can't help but applaud it.
It's really satisfying when that works out that way.
Yeah, and I was like, it's nice to be able to witness that, actually getting to play, especially that second part of that Margaret Scully effect. I mean, come on, that's very situational, and so it's like, and the fact that we finally got to see that play out as that was written, that was a nice little bonus to this game. Anyway, you guys fixed one of the tables is here, but one is still missing.
Yeah, I had my power cord sitting right here, and
the battery's dead.
My battery's dead.
Oh,
okay.
It's kind of hoping, hoping the
we're at
conversation would go on long enough that I would get enough charge.
Yeah, and so you need a minute. So there actually is something I wanted to mention to you guys because it was kind of like why I was distracted earlier when you brought me in. Is Nathan here? Nathan, do you want to bring him in just in case he's back? Because it's more something for Guillaume and Nathan, David maybe to a lesser extent. Nathan? All right, I'll just have to maybe message him later about it. So, oh gosh, this is. I mean, David, how many views do these videos get? I mean, I could wait. I could wait till after you turn off the recording. It's something about it. Yeah, it's in the Facebook group going on in the Facebook group right now. So we'll talk about it after the game when the thing is off. But I need you to do something. I need Nathan to do something after we wrap this up. So. David too. I mean, you can take part in it too, but you don't have a stake necessarily.
I'm feeling so excluded right now. What's going on?
Well, you excluded yourself earlier today when I asked you, but you can still.
I kind of know what you're referring to. There.
I know where it's going.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about it after the game. But yes, we do have three of us have a stake in it, David. If you change your mind, or if you want to see it in the very least, you're like, oh, I want to watch this live stream event that these guys are putting on. I want to see it. You can still have a say. You have a stake in it, and so you can express your. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. Get back to the game. Are you still waiting? Are you still waiting? Are you back up, David?
I got no table right now.
Okay.
I think we're about to wrap it up here anyway. So let's see how this goes.
Yeah. I thought there was one more thing I had, but
Right. So we can still since combat is happening here, we can still do it. So Michelle Wilkes is removed from the game then, and
long range combat. Your team is excluded from long range combat, so I get to
that's correct.
Take a shot at you. My LRC is 4. And I would direct that towards Scully if that's an option there.
All right, so it would send her to the hospital. But before you do that, I'm going to play a combat card, and it's Take Cover. It costs 2, and it says play this card on any combatant to decrease damage from one long-range source by 2 points this round. So I'm going to play Take Cover on Dr. Franklin, and he will only be dealing 2 damages during long-range combat.
Okay.
So who will he be dealing his damages to?
Let's stick with the strategy there and go with Scully.
All right. And then moving to the close range combat. So I'm using my medical skills, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, devastating. My health is 5.
Yeah. But you still get to inflict 2 damages.
2 damages to Scully, please.
Yeah, so that combat card did not prevent her from going to the hospital, unfortunately. Well, so she's gone.
And Dr. Franklin moves to the morgue.
Yeah. And so, okay. And so it was, medical 5+, and I should have used just evidence collection, which would have been better, but I can't change it now. So I have 4 medical now that Scully is gone, so I can't make the skill check, unfortunately. So that site is discarded.
All right, Dr. Jack Franklin.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have used the second Margaret Scully in my hand. Well, we can move to debriefing then. I have 8 cards in my hand, and I'm going to discard the Rejuvenating Caves because at this point there's no point in just playing it. I think we're getting close to the end.
Okay. I would ask, because I'm not all familiar with the card there, the one that moved Pendrell to the Bureau.
Yeah.
The conditions for being able to move him are pay 7 RP or show you my hand.
Yes, that's correct.
And does it say that in a specific phase that I do that?
I'd say since it says you have to pay 7, I think you have to at least reveal your hands while you're the investigating player.
Okay.
I'd say we can see ask Stephen. I'd say it's. I think for instance, if you want to play it right at the beginning of your briefing phase, you can, and then you draw some cards. So I don't know your whole hand, but
Stephen is nodding his head yes.
Okay.
So we're good there.
All right.
I think we just lost Nathan there too. All right. My camera is still not working with me here.
This has happened to me a few times where I'm setting everything up and I'm just forgetting to plug one thing and the battery just runs out during the game.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can fake our way through it here. You'll have to trust me on some of this. I'll hold my cards up. I've got my grand total of 2. If I'm starting my phase, I'll draw my 1 free.
All right.
I'll generate my res, which is 2, 3. So I'm up to 8. And I'm going to buy. Oh, you know what? I'm going to reveal my hand now so I can move Pendrell during the deployment phase. I have adversary Eddie Van Blunt. I have an event card, which is cancer diagnosis, and an event card, mortality imminent.
Okay. So Eddie Van Blunt. Okay. And just out of curiosity, what are his activators?
Conspiracy and agent. And his game effect is place this card beneath an opposing agent of my choice and place 2 tokens on the agent. Remove a token during each of your opponent's debriefing phases. While in play, the agent's skills except health become -1, and all equipment cards are discarded.
All right.
During the opponent's turn, you may deploy the agent as desired and contribute negatively to a team's skill checks. Discard the card when the last token is removed. That's an awesome card.
Yeah.
All right, so I've generated my res. I still need to buy. I'm going to buy 5 cards. So I'll go down to 3 resource. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll turn to you to sell and buy.
Okay. So I'm going to sell 1 breath for 4. And I am going to buy 3 cards. And passing it back to you.
All right. Healing phase, I'll remove 1 from Mulder. No requisition. Deployment, I'm going to move Pendrell to the field now. Case assignment. I have no sight cards.
No.
So unless you have anything to play, we'll move to debriefing.
I don't have anything to play, so I have some discarding to do. Okay, I'm going to discard this one. Hold on. And so I'm going to discard Red Tape and El Chupacabra. And I now have 7 cards. So
Okay.
we can.
Let's see, 3, 6, 7. I have 8. I am going to discard.
I'm going to switch my mic from my phone to my laptop because my AirPods are running out of battery.
Okay. I'm going to discard Sheriff Withers, a witness there. So get me down to, let me just triple check here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yep.
Awesome. Okay. So then I'm going to draw my free card. Okay. I'm going to generate my raise, which is 4. And I am going to use Anderson's token to look through my bureau deck for a site which lets me ask a motive question.
All right.
And well, okay, I'm keeping that one just in case. But, So moving on to healing phase. Oh, sorry. I did not decide if I wanted to buy any cards or not.
And I still need to sell and buy
Yeah,
also.
yeah. I'm going to buy cards. I'm going to buy 3 cards. And passing it to you.
Okay. I'm going to sell 3. There's Cloth Hearts for 4. Marshall Tapia for 1, so that's 5. And then Dodge for 3, so 8.
All right, moving on to healing phase. Scully heals 2. For requisition, I am not going to requisition anything. And for deployment, I'm going to move Scully out of the hospital. And I'm going to end there because I don't have any sites.
Okay.
Oh. Actually, well, here's my problem. I do have a site, but it's a motive site, and I already know your motive. So even if I successfully investigate, that will not get me any closer to figuring out your X file. So I will still have a 50-50 chance. So it's either do I want to investigate and ask an identity question and potentially end the game, or fail and give you an opportunity to ask me a penalty question, which I'm not keen on doing. So yeah, I'm not investigating anything this turn.
Okay.
So we can, unless you have another card to play, we can move on to debriefing phase.
I do. I'm going to play Cancer Diagnosis for 5. Play this card to add cancer to an opposing agent's keywords.
All
The
right.
agent's health is reduced by 1 for each turn that she doesn't spend in the hospital. If the agent's health is reduced to 0, they must remain in the hospital until health is fully restored. Healing cards may be used to maintain the agent's health.
All right. So who do you want to put that on?
Agent Scully, please.
Let's
And
go to
that is 5. I have 8, so I'm going to move down to 3 conspiracy.
Okay, I thought I had. Okay, I thought I had another one in my deck, but I'm not. I wanted to place it on Scully, but oh well. I'm going to place a red token on her to remind me of the card. All right, so I have some discarding to do now. All right, so I have 7 cards. Oh no, I still have those 2.
Where are we at? You're working on discard?
Yeah, still. This is getting harder and harder to figure out which cards to discard. All right. So I'm discarding sinus cavity implant, gulag bird, stunning blow, edgers, and a site migrant worker scam. And I now have 7 cards. So passing it to you.
All right, I will draw for turn. Generate res. Got 3, which brings me up to 6. And I will buy 4, which takes me down to 2 resource. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll turn to you to sell and buy.
No selling or buying.
Okay. Healing. I'll heal 1 from Mulder.
So how many damage taken does he have on him now?
That was his last one.
All right.
Oh, we're still in the briefing phase. Is that correct?
No, you've just healed the molder.
Oh, sure, sure. So then I will go to requisition, no requisition, deployment. I'll bring Agent Mulder back out to the field. I do not have a site card to play. So unless you have anything you want to play, we'll go straight to debriefing.
No, I don't have any cards to play, and I have exactly 7 cards in my hand.
Okay. I have 8. I will discard. Let's see here. Oh, easy. I'll discard Scott Garrett, an adversary there. That gets me down to 7. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, drawing my free card. I'm going to generate my res, which is 6. And I'm going to play forensic excavation. Takes any 2 keyword evidence or witness cards from your discard pile. Add 1 card. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not playing that now. So passing it to you to sell and buy. I'm just going to draw one card. I'm just going. Oh, you're back. I'm just going to draw one card, and now passing it to you.
Okay, back in business there. Okay, so we're back to debriefing, right? No.
Oh yeah, I actually started my briefing phase. I drew my free card, and I brought one card.
Okay, and I don't have anything to sell or buy. So I'm good. Oh,
Okay.
actually, I take that back. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Back to you.
So no healing, no requisition for deployment. I'm keeping everyone in the field. And we're moving to case assignment. I'm going to play forensic excavation. So take any 2 keyword evidence or witness cards from your discard pile, add 1 card to your hand, and immediately use the other card at no cost. So I'm paying 3 for that one. And I'm going to look for my discard pile now. No.
Oh, good on, buddy.
I thought that I could use that card to draw a site, but yeah, unfortunately, no site has the keyword evidence. It's always evidence collection. So, but anyway, I'm taking 2 witnesses for my discard pile. I'm taking a thinker, and I'm taking Kurt Crawford. I'm going to add a thinker to my hand, and I'm going to play Kurt Crawford immediately for no cost. It says play this card to remove the keyword cancer from the afflicted agent. So I'm going to play that one on Scully to remove the cancer diagnosis. And since I don't have any sites to play, then we can move on to the briefing phase.
So, question.
Yeah.
There's no site or site investigation. Can I still play an adversary?
I think that question has come up. Like, for instance, you want to play Eddie Van Blunt because it only has an activator of agent, correct? Well, let's bring in Stephen and Nathan.
And we lost Nathan, so here comes Steven.
I think the answer is no on that. I mean, he's not He's not going in. And I get there's no S site activator or anything like that, but it's.
So technically, he's
I think the agents have to be I think there has to be a case assignment and an investigation phase in order for the adversary to be playable. So the thing about that is that we have these phases. We go through deployment, we go through case assignment, we go to investigation phase, and the so because Guillaume doesn't have a site, we're not going into case assignment, and therefore we don't proceed into investigation phase because the case assignment phase didn't take place. So for that reason, David, it's playing an adversary which would get played during the investigation phase. There's no other phase in which an adversary would get played, even in advance. That, as I understand it, the adversaries are only played in the and I think it says like there's certain cards that are only played in this phase, and it says like investigation phase. You only play like adversaries and stuff like that. So yeah, sure. Since we're skipping those two phases, then yeah, there wouldn't be a path to playing an adversary at this point. As I understand, we check the the nuances of the manual, but I'm fairly certain that it would. With regards to we go right to the part with Guillaume. I don't know if you're heading there now, but adversaries, for instance, that would be the first place I would check.
I think that was the question that came up as a hypothetical once. I think I asked you that question, and that's the ruling that we agreed on. And I'd say, yeah, I agree. It's just since it's the same thing. For instance, if I'm investigating a site and I'm not sending every one of my agents to the site, and let's say Kosef and Henderson remain in the field but are not part of the investigation, then you would not be able to play an adversary on them because they're not part of the investigation.
That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. No, I was looking for any. I was looking for a section of it where it discusses that. And it's like sometimes I think it's like it's only written in the basic manual, but it's not spelled out here, and maybe it wasn't included in there because it's like, we already covered that in the basic manual. Just come on. Yeah. No, I think it. Yeah, I think it says it in the. I think it says it. It says it in the basic manual, but I know that doesn't help us necessarily because we're in the. Can I find one that isn't cut out? Yeah.
I'm going to discard 2 cards. Sorry, she had a date and covers accommodation, and I now have 7 cards.
Yeah. So in the basic manual, it says the type of cards which may be. This is during the skill check subroutine of the investigation phase. The type of cards which may be played during a skills check subroutine are events, witnesses, bluffs, and adversaries. But granted, that's not very helpful because, for one, that's the basic manual, and it doesn't.
But
of course, we play events and stuff at other points in other phases and whatnot.
Because, for instance, on cards that only have agents as activator, you could then technically play during the briefing phase when the agents are in the bureau, and that would not be appropriate.
Yeah, I know. It's like it should be, and unless I'm just missing it in the manual, which I don't know. You were looking too, and I know. Oh wait.
I think the thing that can maybe clear things up is like you have that card that is no place is safe. Which specifically says that it gives, for instance, the bureau. It does give the bureau the activator of site, but if you could play, for instance, let's say Simon Gates, which only has agent as activator, you would not need a card like No Place is Safe because you would play it on any agent,
Yeah,
no matter
good
where they are.
point. Great point. Yeah, it's a bit circuitous way of getting to the answer, but it does. Yeah, it does make sense. All right, conspiracy pool, but yeah.
Lots of great technical questions during this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we've always operated on the. Now I'm just in this section. Yeah, no, it's like it's just. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. Not that I can tell. Is it spelled out in it? But I think the intent of it. I think the intent of adversaries is that they're played on sites, even like if they don't have the activator site, they have a um, a skill type listed. The intent is that they would be played on a team investigating a site. I think that's the the standard practice there. And I know, David, it's like I know the reason is like you want to avoid having to discard a card in debriefing because too many, and it would be nice to upend him for the next round. But heck, it's like the winner of this game is going to be the first person who draws a site at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point, the first site I draw, I'm going to investigate and take a crack at the identity of the X-Files, no matter what. Because
I was gonna say that motive one earlier is like you're like at this point I might as well have just taken a crack at it.
oh yeah,
because otherwise it's like we're seeing the season 4 cards, but they're just
all of the good sites are in my discard pile because I think I drew like 10 sites during the first 2 rounds, which was really frustrating because I knew I would run into that situation at some point.
All right, so what's the reason your throat's bothering you? Because I can tell you the reason mine is, and I think you already know, because my daughter kept me up for all but 2 hours last night.
Because these last few days the weather has been really hot, so it was really hot in the apartment, and last night the weather had cooled down and there was actually a nice breeze, and also we opened every window in the apartment during the night, and including the bedroom window, and I felt the draft on me while I was sleeping. And when I woke up yesterday morning, I felt like my voice was going to be gone. And
Yeah, I mean, you sounded okay. I mean, we were talking like less than 24 hours ago, and you sounded perfectly fine. So I was like, what happened there? And me, in my case, I just didn't get enough sleep thanks to, my kid had my kid woke up at 2 a.m., David, and she was scared, nightmare, whatever, and and then just wouldn't go back. So it's like, all right, you can sleep next to me on the sofa so mom can sleep. But unfortunately, all her wiggling and moving around and whatnot she didn't go out right away.
Oh no!
And this was about shortly after Guillaume and I had wrapped up, our discussion. I was like, of course, she gets up as soon as I wrap that up, and it's like, okay, well, no sleep for me tonight. But oh well, couldn't have predicted that. Anyway, let's carry on. I mean, we'll see a resolution of this playtest before too long. So as soon as someone gets a site, you want to just
I have 7 cards in my hand.
I have 7 in my hand.
All right, so let's move on to your investigation phase then.
All right, I'll draw for turn. And generate res 1, 2, 3. Takes me up to 6, and then Mulder's 2, and I'm going to buy. I'll buy 3 for 5 total. I'll turn it to you to sell and buy.
So I'm going to sell the Thinker for 5, and I would have loved to play that one, but no sites, and I need cover credentials. So that's 10, and I'm going to buy 8 cards. So I'm just adding 2. I'm afraid to look at my cards. Okay. Of course, now all those good cards come up. Wow.
All done selling and buying?
Yes, I'm done. You can go ahead.
All right. No healing, no requisition. Deployment. All my agents will stay in the field where they are. Case assignment.
Well,
I don't know who shuffled this deck, but I have no sights. So if you don't have anything to play, we'll move to debriefing.
well, no, I don't have a lot to play, but I will have a lot of discarding to do now.
Me too. Yeah. One, two, three.
All right. So I'm discarding the knife, the biohazard suit. I'm discarding the quarantine zone. At this point, there's no point in keeping it. Poisonous gases, Ellen Tanner, and I do have one side that I drew that I need to discard. So that gives you an idea. I have a second one, so I'm discarding a Striker Cove.
Okay. I am discarding taking chances. F. Emasculata outbreak. Peter Calcagni. Agent Pendrell shot to death in DC pub. Gulag Commandant and mortality imminent. I'm just going to triple check here. Yeah, I have 7. So I'll turn to you.
All right, so I'm doing my free card. I'm going to generate my res, which is 6, puts me up to 10. And I will be buying 2. I'll buy 3 cards. And just for the fun of it, because I'm going to play Friend in the FBI and I'm going to be putting 8 tokens on it. Just in case we end up playing a few more rounds and passing it to you to sell and buy.
Is it my turn to sell and buy? Okay, I'm going to sell search warrant for 2. Gives me up to 7. And I'm going to buy 1. And back to you.
Okay, so I'm going for no, so healing phase, no healing. But I am going to play. Oh, should I play it now? I'm going to play Father McHugh on Scully for 2. Play on any one agent in the field or hospital. An agent with the keyword believer immediately heals 2 tokens of damage. If played on Scully or Mulder, treat Scully as a keyword believer. So I'm removing her last 2 damage tokens and discarding Father McHugh. So no requisition, deployment, I'm keeping everyone in the field. And for a case assignment, we are going to go investigate the demolition site in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's a sciences 4+ and method question. I'm going to use Nancy's token to pay for 1 and paying 1 from my pool. Let's finish this.
All right. All right. I have two bluffs.
Well, at this point, I'm sending everyone and let's see the bluffs.
They're both fake. They're both true bluffs. Happy birthday and relentless pursuit. Thought I'd scare you there for a second. So you're sending everybody, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to play an adversary. I'm going to play Eddie Van Blunt
Okay.
for 6. And what was your prerequisite again?
Sciences 4+.
Okay.
So who do you want to place it on?
Who has your highest sciences?
It's Scully. She has 3.
Okay, let's put it on Scully then, please.
Okay. So
Let me read it here. Place this card beneath an opposing agent of your choice and place 2 tokens on the agent. Remove a token during each of your opponent's debriefing phases. All in play, the agent's skills, except for health, become -1, and all equipment cards are discarded. During your opponent's turn, you may deploy the agent as desired and contribute negatively to the team's skill checks. Discard when all tokens are removed.
all right. So I currently have, not counting Scully, I have sciences 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. So Scully contributes -1.
Correct.
So that's 4. So I still make the skill check. It's sciences 4+.
I'm okay with that.
All right. So it's a method question. So Is your method possession?
No.
Are you the ancestor spirits?
Yes, I am.
I think that was the longest game we've ever played.
Yeah, I mean the counter only has it at like just 3 hours 7 minutes, and I know we spent like a good like 16 17 minutes just talking at the beginning of the broadcast, but surprisingly you're right, Guillaume, it felt like a long game, and I really think it was just because there were just like the game just gets dragged down when you have several rounds where it's like, oh, I don't have a sight, I don't have a sight, I don't have a sight, you know, and then it just becomes the tedium starts to set in a little bit. But yeah, it was long, but yeah, definitely not the longest one, but it certainly felt like the longest
Well,
one.
it was good because I think I've managed to go through more of half of my deck. But if you had successfully prevented that investigation, there were maybe like 15 cards before another site would have come up. So
yeah, and it gave us chances to see like some other cards get played, like especially like in the last round or two. So I like that Father McHugh got to specifically go out and do that effect with the reverse keyword on Scully. That was pretty cool. And of course, getting to see Eddie played, was great. David, although we didn't get to see the full benefit. I mean, we did sort of, but though it was just narrowly not enough. Guillaume came packed with sciences, but then you could have come out with Van Blunt in the next round and contributed negatively to a site, and that might have been But I loved it. I loved seeing like
I had 4 adversaries and 3 combat cards in my hand, so I was ready for you to play a site.
You answered the question about combats in spades. There are a lot of combats, but yeah, David, you answered with a lot of adversaries. I liked, especially like Dr. Jack Franklin. That was, one of my favorite rounds to see played out. So that was, and gray-haired man. That was a nice one too. You brought a lot of my favorite adversaries out to play, so I'm pleased.
I think it's the game where we've played the most adversaries during the playtests. And actually, combat did occur several times. We had combat cards as well. So, witnesses, I think we've seen every type of cards being played tonight. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's like, I mean, lack of sight notwithstanding, it was a great game. It was a great game. And David, you really had him narrowed down to so few. I mean, you could probably take a guess right now what it is, and it's game over.
But I had it down to 3, I think.
33% chance. Yeah. What was it? What do you think it is, David?
I think it's Cecil Lively.
It's your favorite. I picked it. It's Leonard.
Leonard. Okay.
Good old Leonard. Okay.
When you said it was my favorite, I was like, Kevin Morris isn't
he's not. No, Conduit is not an X-File. So yeah.
Actually, since I picked an old female team, I wanted to specifically pick a female X-File, but I was like, maybe it would be too obvious, so I did not want to risk it. But otherwise, I would have
BJ Morrow.
BJ Morrow.
Yeah. Oh, but that's no. I mean, I like the thematic element. That would not have. That would, even if I were not, really tired. I don't think that would ever had occurred to me. Like, oh, maybe he's playing with a female X-File, a female persuasion X-File. I don't know. There aren't that many. Like you got BJ Morrow, the vampire.
Yeah. You don't have a lot. So yeah, Mrs. Paddock also.
Mrs. Paddock. Yep. Not too many.
Yeah, that was a really fun game. Lots of cards that had never come up, even commercially released cards like the Scully ones. And I mentioned this to you, Steven. I wanted to create an all-female team.
You did.
Ago, but with the commercially released cards, there was no way I could make that work. But
Hayden, it does. Yeah, Hayden makes it. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I was glad. For like when I was writing those early on, I was like, oh my god, am I not gonna have a female agent on this? I was like, oh gosh, I had to dig deep. It's like, oh, Hedden, there we go. There's one. So yeah, it was not, there were not too many agents to choose from in season 4. Not like there was in like 5 or other seasons, but yeah, for a bit until it occurred to me, oh, Hedden. I was like, oh, I don't have any female agents on this team.
Well, and speaking of agents, or not agents, but characters that we see in the bureau, when I sent you the screen cap from Redux last night, it reminded me that there was Holly, who was also in Redux, and she's also in Pusher, and she doesn't have a witness card, she doesn't have anything, and maybe she
doesn't. Yeah, I did have. I mean, she did occur to me for season 5. I haven't written anything for her. I did. Oh, I was hearing something. I thought my daughter was coming. No, so I'm thinking she might wind up being a witness, because I really feel like I've got so many agents in season 5, and we, not getting the promos.
She would be maybe a good 1 or 2 RP agents. Someone who's just like maybe one bureaucracy or 2 bureaucracy, 1 computer. Maybe something that she can maybe remain in the bureau to help make those bureaucracy skill checks in the bureau.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I do want to see like another 1 or 2 RP agent available. So I'm wondering. I'll have to go back. I'll look at it and see. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a cut somewhere. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Yeah, with the current lineup of agents, we have 10, and that's not counting we're gonna have the Mulder Scully promos. I could maybe one of those could be a promo. Well, oh wait, Marita's a promo. Marita's a promo. Never mind, I forgot about that. So I'll have 3 promos, 9 regular agents. So yeah, no, that is food for thought. I do like the idea of having a 1 or 2 resource witness. So all right, but I'll get thinking about that now that I have what Nathan's written. So so you'll send me the extra weapon, the key card for Redux idea. What we talked about today is that, are we fairly content with that idea that it's going to be an equipment card with the level 4 access key card to prevent or to prevent an agent from being prevented from contributing their from being moved moved.
And
it's an anti-move card.
Yeah, and that's kind of the original idea I had for the Maurice Fletcher key card, and then I ended up using something else. So that's why I put it on the season 7 card. So now it's going to be on the season 5. So that's good.
Yep. All right. But yeah, I got stuff. So I'll get the card because what Nathan has is there's cards with the card ideas with varying degrees of completion. Some cases it's just a title only. Sometimes it's an effect, but it's not complete. It's partly cut off, and a lot of times it's just a title with no text go with it. But there's a few. There's a handful in there. I'll throw onto the spreadsheet so you guys can take a look at them. But I want to get writing. I'll get writing on it now and start cranking out more. Now that Guillaume's been showing me the events, I'm getting more and more inspired for a lot of clever ideas from just the first 3 episodes of his season 7 expansion that I saw. So is there anything we want to say, Dave, before we end the broadcast?
No, I got nothing. Let's just wrap her up. All
right. So we'll be doing another play test. I don't know if we'll talk about it later this week, but presumably we'll get one going for next Saturday. I have to work this upcoming Saturday, so I'm not necessarily inclined to be playing this next one. But I think if we do a play test one of the following Saturdays, either the 20th or the 27th, I'll probably be one of the players in that.
Right.
But I also need time to get them printed too, so I'm going to try to get that done this week so I get the cards that I don't have from Dax printed so I can use them. So you guys could see me apply my season 4, put my money where my mouth is in a sense. And you guys
I don't
could
want to
see
be
me.
on the receiving end of that.
Well, you guys have had more, firsthand experience with them. So, I mean, if anything, you might say that the advantage lies with the three of you who've actually been playing them back and forth with one another, whereas I haven't. I mean, for me, it's like it's not hands-on per se. It's it's mostly a cerebral working knowledge of it as opposed to like a firsthand experience with it. So I wouldn't go that far to say I have the advantage, but it's like it's untapped in the sense that you guys haven't seen any of my efforts with them, see what I have in mind. So yeah, we'll see. That's
So
gonna go.
there was something that you wanted to ask us after the broadcast, correct?
Yes, after
After the broadcast, yeah.
afterwards,
So thanks everybody for watching. I didn't see any
Yeah.
live viewers, but
I didn't
hopefully
either.
we'll get some views afterward, and you guys will
We'll see.
enjoy seeing these cards in play. And hopefully, if you want, reach out to any of us. We'd love to play a game with you.
Yep,
With
absolutely. Please, if you guys want to play a game on either David's channel or my channel, Alien Investigations, I love playing with David and Nate, or I love playing with David and Guillaume all the time. It's great. But if you guys want to, if someone else wants to, get in between episodes with these guys, I would love to, have see some more diversity of, teams and agents and players and all that stuff, But till then, still enjoying having these two gentlemen to contend with. It's still a lot of fun. And I'm telling that to, anyone who's watching is like, these guys make for great opponents. So if you're looking for someone to play the game with via StreamYard, you can find us on the Facebook group. You can find us on our channel. We're not hard to find.
Don't
And
get
if
it.
you've watched all 3 hours and 20 minutes of this, you're a diehard fan. We want to play against you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well put.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Good night.